Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us once again for Football Feed with Queen City Newsfeed. I'm Cash Matlock, and I'm joined by Rob Allen. You know him from ALT, you know him from Q101, and you know him from Lamar football, and you probably just know him.
I'm sorry.
And Rob, I was thinking,
lucky you.
I was thinking yesterday, we've never told people, but we're both Mehanians.
Mehan is that a real thing? Mehanians?
I made it up yesterday.
What's the joke about Mehan? Go ahead and tell it.
Well, if you don't know where it is,
just below me elbow.
It's right below me elbow. One time I said that joke to somebody who's from Mehan, and they did not think it was funny.
Oh,
I know.
Well, they need to move out of Mehan then. So,
okay. Well, you tell her that.
No, I'm not. And if it's a her, I'm going to stay in my place, stay in my lane. I'm going to leave that alone. So there you go.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, like, comment, and share, and keep up with all the latest football feed information. We've got your local high school scores. We do our pregame show every Thursday. And then, of course, we follow JUCO college and a little bit of the NFL as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And before we get started here, I just want to say a special thank you to our sponsor, All-Star Team Sports in Meridian. It is the go-to place for all sports apparel.
It was actually pretty clutch last week when I did the Lamar game up at Caledonia. I was actually talking to one of the parents who watched our football feed last week and said they actually got the shirt they were wearing made at All-Star Team Sports. So they can custom anything apparel-wise for your favorite school in the area, which is pretty clutch.
That is pretty cool. All right. Well, Rob, without further ado, let's go ahead and kick it off. Let's start with high school. Now, last week, you want to just kind of go over briefly last week, and then we'll run into this week?
Yeah.
I got the scores pulled up.
Yeah, if you got the scores pulled up there, we can go over the three teams that we broadcast here with Digio Strategies. I guess we can start with West Lauderdale. That was, I think, for some people, a little bit of a surprising result, dropping a home game to Neshoba Central. Now, this is nothing to panic about if you're West Lauderdale. This is not a district football game, but still, I think West Lauderdale in that ball game, they had come away with that 1-point decision the week before, and they got behind early. And I will give West a lot of credit for one thing. They battled and fought their way back, and they just fell a little bit short there to Neshoba Central. Neshoba's first win, so kudos to them, their first win of the season. But, yeah, it's an early loss, but I think they'll bounce back from it fine. Lamar went on the road at Caledonia, and they're pretty darn convincing there.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk more about that coming up. And, of course, Meridian, after their 1-point win against Neshoba the week before, played a tough Starkville team, and that's a tough matchup for Meridian, and they got beat. I believe it was 44-6, if I'm not. 44-6. So yeah, that was the results from three of those schools, and Clarkdale still undefeated. That's a big story for you personally, I think.
I'm always gonna root for the Bulldogs.
Yes, the Bulldogs out at Clarkdale. So there's a lot of good stories early on in the season. Northeast Lauderdale's undefeated going into this week, so we've got a lot of good local interest stories right now.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and talk about the games that we have coming up, and specifically, we'll start with the three that we actually broadcast. So I'll go ahead and let you kind of kick that off here, Rob. First on our list is West Lauderdale Knights versus Union Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, this is a big game for West. Obviously, you want to bounce back, losing that tough one in Neshoba Central last week. You go on the road to Union. Now, I've always said this, when you come off of a loss, it's the next game is always a big game, but it's even bigger when you go on the road. Got to deal with a different atmosphere, and it's going to be very interesting going ahead to see how West manages this. Now, Union is no slouch. They've had a pretty good last few years on the gridiron, but I think West is going to – it's a short trip. I don't think the atmosphere is going to bother West because I know they will travel very well. I mean, that's just a hop and a skip across the county line. Yeah. But if you can't make the ball game for whatever reason, no worries. We got it covered on Q101. There you see the FM frequency there on the screen. Of course, we've got the Q101 mobile app and Q101radio.com. But it'll be interesting to see how West bounces back from that tough loss to Neshoba. But I think
they'll be fired up.
I think they will be fired up. And like I said, West is still one of my favorites to, win the district. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But yeah, I think they'll be fine going on the road. No sliding Union by any stretch of the imagination, but I think Union's going to be dealing with a pretty motivated football team tomorrow night, I think. But it'll still be a good broadcast with Lee and Clint tomorrow night. They do a fabulous job over on Q101, and should be a good one over there in Newton County tomorrow night.
I got you. Okay, so Now we've got East Rankin Academy Patriots versus Lamar Raiders.
Homecoming at Lamar.
Homecoming early.
It is early. I think there's some other schools that have homecoming.
I think Clarkdale's next week.
I think Clarkdale's. I think Enterprise might be having home. There's a lot of schools having homecoming this early, and I told someone this the other day.
Back in my day.
Back in my day.
It was October.
It's always October.
And to me, like that's like the.
Let's check with the producer. Was it always in October?
Yeah, look it up.
Yes, thumbs up. Okay, yeah,
but like that's the environment of homecoming, right? Like it's chilly. Fall leaves are in the air.
Yeah.
You know, there's a jack-o'-lantern in the distance.
But I tell you what, going with Lamar going against East Rankin, both these teams are 3-1. Not just is this the homecoming game, but it's a district football game. So this big one, impressive win against a much bigger school last week in Caledonia. They won 55-15. Cash. The score at halftime was Lamar trailing 15-14. Put that in your mind for 41 unanswered points in the second half. So that just shows you just how much that game turned in just one half of football. But this team is really clicking on all cylinders right now. And I think that was a real indicator of where the team is at right now, because you lose to Jackson Prep 50-something to 19 the week before, and then you do that to somebody else the next week. A lot of teams, from a mental aspect, you just don't know what you're dealing with going into the next game, but they handled the adversity really well. It's a great atmosphere up there. And folks, if you've never been to a game at Caledonia before, that's the first time I've ever broadcasted a game there. Man, they fed us after the game.
They're nice people.
They're just great folks up at Caledonia.
I told you last week, I used to work up there.
Yeah.
And not to make anybody mad, I enjoyed it.
It was great. I mean, we enjoyed it.
I'm not a traitor, I promise.
Caledonia is one of those towns. It's just north of Columbus.
Yeah.
It's
good hometown vibe.
It's good hometown vibe, but it's like you see in the movies, they shut the whole town down to go to the football game. That's what that is like.
Well, there ain't much. They shut the store down.
I did see a Dollar General in the corner. When we pulled up, I was like, there's a Dollar General. Right. Civilization.
Oh, yeah. People live here.
But I like Lamar here. Obviously, it is homecoming, and Lamar has spent 3 of the first 4 games on the road. They're going to have back-to-back home games, which is thank God, I don't have to drive anywhere tomorrow night. We actually are going to be here. But if you can't make the game for whatever reason, OKK, 97 OKK will have the ball game tomorrow night. Now, we do something different on our broadcast. We do a tailgate show at 6 o'clock. So we start an hour early during home games. You can come by the berm. We got our banner up, our tent. You can come by and visit with us before the ball game tomorrow night. And I will tell people that are coming out to the Lamar game tomorrow night, get there early, because with homecoming stuff going on, it's going to be a big crowd. So just anticipate that as you come out tomorrow night. But if you can't, we got it on 97.1, the app, and of course the .com. So
as always. All right, so let's move on to Meridian Wildcats versus Columbus Falcons.
Yeah, Meridian had a tough draw last week with Starkville.
Kind of had a tough start of the season, right?
Yeah, that game, I didn't like Meridian in that game, just to be perfectly honest. Meridian's got a young football team, Starkville. Meridian was a little outmatched last week, and the score indicated that 44-6. Now, when the schedules first came out, I thought if there was going to be a road game that Meridian could win, it was going to be this one. Yeah. I think Columbus, this is a very winnable game for Meridian. I know Meridian's still a young football team, but I still think they can build off of that Neshoba Central game that they won 2 weeks ago, a dramatic 1-point win that kind of jump starts the season. But the only problem is you've got that Starkville loss in between going into Columbus here. But
I feel like it's kind of been up and down.
It is. And
down and up and down.
I like Meridian going on the road here, but when you go on the road, it's so cliche to say it. Don't turn the ball over. Don't do stuff that's going to be self-inflicted. And I think that's been Meridian's problem in some of their losses, is just self-inflicted mistakes. I know it's early in the season, but when you go on the road especially, if you do things to hurt your cause, then you're going to look up and you're going to be behind on the scoreboard by a pretty big amount. So, but I like Meridian on the road at Columbus, but hey, what do they always say? You got to play the game. But we wish our Wildcats the best as they go up there to Columbus. And, of course, this is their first road game, too. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Meridian spent the first 3 weeks at home, so this is their first road game of the season. I
was just about to say that. We just had 3 home games in a row.
Yeah. So how do they adapt to life on the road? We'll find out.
We'll find out. Stay tuned.
95.1 The Beat on the broadcast. Of course, our new broadcast team, Charlie Lockley and Neil Henry, do a great job. And, of course, the features at halftime have been awesome, too, with Citizens National Bank that Neil does, and that's a great addition to the broadcast.
Oh, for sure. I think last week we had Trey Alford, and then the week before that it was Virgie Palmer. And I haven't heard who we're having this week or if we're going to have a special guest.
I bet
That may just be for home games.
Virgie's one of my favorite people in the world.
Oh, yeah.
In the world. So, so those are our 3 broadcasted games with our Digio strategy platform. So you got 2 on the road and 1 at home. So there you go.
I got you. Okay, well, let's move on down the line. Let's go ahead and talk about my favorite team, Clarkdale.
Yeah, there's Clarkdale. I've got to poke fun at him because I know he's a friend of ours. But the Fighting Wade Phillips is Sebastopol.
So it's me versus Wade.
It's you versus Wade.
A long-time arch enemies.
Pastor Wade. So, but yeah, Clarkdale has been the fun story of the season so far. I mean, they are playing well right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're undefeated right now. They're going to be at home this week against Sebastopol. So, man, tell you what, Coach Roberts is doing a great job his first year at Clarkdale.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of good weapons on that team. So see if Clarkdale can continue that streak. We'll go from that point down here. I talked about Northeast Lauderdale earlier. They're undefeated going up against Forest. Of course, Northeast beat Southeast last week.
And I do want to mention one thing about that.
Yes.
I don't know if you caught this. They did an awesome 9/11
I did see the videos. Great.
Where the 2 bands kind of united.
That was great.
And I think that it's just a cool message. It's like, united in kind of that moment of that 9/11 memorial, 2 rival teams coming together.
That was great.
It was really something special. And we actually posted that on Queen City Newsfeed Facebook page, queencitynewsfeed.com, if you want to go back and look at that footage.
Fantastic.
But it was a great performance.
Yeah, so I like Northeast to stay undefeated. Of course, Southeast Lauderdale, I know it's been a tough year for the Tigers. I know they're still winless. They go over to Newton. Maybe this will be the breakthrough moment for the Tigers here, taking on the other Tigers from Newton. Equipment on the road at South Jones. Then you got Newton County and Scott Central. You've got Lake traveling to Choctaw Central. Now, Choctaw Central is another sneaky team that nobody's talking about. They beat Philadelphia last week, and they are also undefeated, so maybe a team to deal with down the road. Neshoba Central, of course, coming off that West Lauderdale win, they'll go to Germantown. Philadelphia, still winless on the season. They will travel to Bay Springs. Then you got Kemper County. They played a private school last week, still winless on their season. They go to Choctaw County, Heidelberg, and Taylorsville. And then to wrap things up here, Shannon and Knoxville County, Wayne County and George County, and then some academy ball games here. You've got Newton County Academy and Central Homes. And then a team from Arkansas is coming to Kemper Academy, Marvel Academy out of Arkansas. And what a lot of people don't understand, and finally Simpson and Wayne there at the bottom, what a lot of people don't understand is the MAIS. That is the private school association. You have teams from Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, and Tennessee all in that association. Sometimes you see these matchups of how they put the schools in different leagues. So, yeah, a team from Arkansas is coming all the way to Mississippi tomorrow night, and of all places, in DeKalb. They're at Kemper Academy.
I wonder what they'll think. Yeah.
I know, right? So, small town Mississippi. So,
oh, yeah. They're probably from a small town.
Oh, I imagine
right?
so.
They're used to it. It's all rural.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you, though, what is your game to watch for high school football?
I am very interested, probably, if I had to pick one, it's Meridian.
Okay.
To see how they
travel on the road.
How they travel on the road. First road game. When the schedules come out, we all go back and we say, that looks like that might be a winnable game. Yeah. But my only thing is, this is the first road game. How do you handle adversity after a lopsided loss at home? You go on the road for the first time, because a lot of people think, oh, well, they're just going on the road. There's a lot that goes into a road game for a mental aspect for these young kids. Yeah. And how are they going to deal with that? Columbus, not a bad trip for the Cats, but still, how is life going to be on the road for the first time? That's probably my big game to watch this week, and probably on the back end of that, probably Lamar, because it's homecoming. The distractions that come with homecoming, how will they deal with that? And by the way, I forgot to mention this with Lamar earlier. Congratulations to Sullivan Reed, the starting quarterback at Lamar. He's a heck of a baseball star. He committed to play baseball at Mississippi State earlier this week. So,
very awesome.
Cash, he is the #1 ranked baseball player in the state of Mississippi for his graduating class in 27.
Oh, that is impressive.
So, and he's right here in our backyard. So, wish him the best. Elton and them have done a great job with raising. He's a good young man, and I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. So.
Awesome. That is awesome to hear. Of course, we love to celebrate
absolutely
all Mississippi players, but especially when they're close to home and here locally.
And when they stay home.
Yeah.
They stay home in the state.
For sure. Okay. So let's take it on down to JUCO football here. We've got first matchup is East Mississippi. I don't know. Sorry.
Have another drink, Cash.
No, that was just a small stroke. But no big deal. No big deal.
Gosh. You're killing me, Smalls. You're really killing me.
Anyway, Itawamba versus East Mississippi Community College.
You want me to take it from here?
You take it.
Okay.
You take it. I'm turning red, so you take it.
I love the live stuff.
Mr. Serpy is what I said.
Yeah, there you go. East Mississippi, Itawamba. You know, EMCC had a big upset last week. They upset Northwest Mississippi at home. It was 34-28. And the Lions are trending in the right direction. Back-to-back wins. They beat Hines and Northwest. Now they have to go on the road, and can they stand prosperity going on the road against ICC? And you see all of our area junior colleges on the road this week.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight. So EMCC is going to Itawamba.
On the road again.
On the road again. East Central winless. Can they go down and get a win at Pearl River? We'll find out. But the big JUCO matchup of the week is that one at the bottom. Jones and Co-Lin, both undefeated, both highly ranked. That's probably the game of the week right there at the very bottom. Jones going down to Co-Lin. That is one amazing atmosphere in Weston when they pack that stadium in. So I imagine that's going to be an electric atmosphere on a Thursday night. So Jones and Co-Lin, that's going to be a great football game.
Okay, so would that be your one to watch, you think?
Yeah, oh, no doubt. There's no doubt about that. No sliding East Central, East Mississippi, but when you get two highly ranked teams against each other, that's one to watch for sure. So
okay, so let's take it on down to just regular schmegular college.
Regular schmegular college. See State and Northern Illinois there at the top. Of course, State took care of business against Alcorn State last week, 63-0. State jumped out 28-0 after a quarter, and it was kind of put to bed after that. Now, Northern Illinois, no team to sleep on. They went to Notre Dame and won last year. I know State's a 3-touchdown favorite in this ball game, but this is one of those games that State doesn't need to look ahead because Tennessee comes to Starkville next week. So you don't want to look ahead here. So this is a game you need to treat as seriously as you can and try to, get up early and stay up. But, State is obviously one of the better stories in college football after the misery they've had of just trying to win football games. They won 2 last year, and they've already won 3 this year.
Okay,
so,
doing better.
So they're doing a little better.
Again, I'm biased because I went there.
I know.
Once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog.
There you go. So, but that'll be up in Starkville tomorrow. Ole Miss and Tulane, of course. Tulane and Ole Miss, when they get together, it seems to be a pretty exciting football game. I know Tulane was a team coming into the season a lot of folks thought might have been one of those kind of at-large bids to maybe be in the playoff 12. It'll be a tough assignment going to Ole Miss. Ole Miss coming off a dramatic high-scoring game against Arkansas. Yeah. And when Ole Miss and Arkansas always get together, it's going to be a good game. But that'll be up in Oxford tomorrow. Southern Miss and Louisiana Tech. What about Southern Miss? They beat App State last week.
It's I feel like you never know with them.
You don't.
Some years you're like, you hear bad things. Some years you hear good things. They're up and down.
Absolutely. But Charles Huff has done an amazing job. They got La Tech on the road this week. We'll bounce up to actually, I'll cover the South Carolina-Missouri game at the bottom real quick. I just threw that in because that's a conference game in South Carolina. They lost their quarterback last week to injury. They got to go to Missouri. Missouri could be one of those quiet teams in the SEC that could sneak up and possibly grab a playoff berth. Auburn and Oklahoma, they're at the top. Auburn's starting quarterback, Jackson Arnold, guess where he transferred from last year? Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. He has to. He goes back to Oklahoma to play the team he played for last year.
Yeah.
So that's a big story going into this one.
Exciting matchup.
Yep, so that's going to be
something to prove.
Oh, no doubt. Got something to prove. So that'll be a nice game there between Auburn and Oklahoma. And I wanted to throw the UWA Tigers in the mix. They're playing Barton College over in Livingston tomorrow. UWA is 3-0 to start the season, and they're ranked. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're ranked in the top 25 in the D2 polls, so a good job by Scott Cochran over there at UWA as they've gotten off to a rip-roaring start. And then Florida State and Miami, 2 teams in the Sunshine State taking on each other. Florida State, we know the story behind them as they beat Alabama, and they had an off week last week. Miami coming off a big win against South Florida. Those 2 teams don't like each other at all.
And both coming off wins, I feel like that creates its own tension.
Ask my wife when it comes to Miami. She's a Florida State fan. the U does not belong anywhere. The U does not belong. So, but that'll be a great game. That'll be a fun one to watch this weekend. So those are some of the big college matchups this week. So.
And what would you say out of all those matchups? What's your one to watch?
Probably Auburn, Oklahoma, just because of the Jackson Arnold story. Probably.
I was gonna say the way you talked about it, and just him coming from that team, and now the face-off.
That's how does he deal with that going on the road to Oklahoma? That's going to be interesting going ahead, and probably if you had to go 1B, probably Florida, Miami. Okay, probably. So yeah,
I gotcha. All right, so let's take it to the NFL then. I'll let you kick it off here.
Saints need a win. They are 0-2 to start the year. Going to be tough going out to Seattle. A trip all the way to the West Coast. The Saints have just had all kind of problems scoring, penalties. I mean, just a tough start. You know, right now a lot of the NFL experts are expecting the Saints to probably have the worst record in the NFL, and if you do that, you get the #1 pick in the NFL draft. So we'll go all the way. Falcons had a nice bounce-back game. They will take on the Carolina Panthers. That's an in-conference matchup in the NFC South. Always got to throw the Cowboys in the mix. Cowboys and the Bears. Of course, the Cowboys. The Bears. Cowboys had that last-second field goal to beat the Giants in overtime this past week, and they go to Soldier Field to take on Chicago. Rams and Eagles, that's a battle of two undefeated teams. And then finally, you got the Chiefs and the Giants. Of course, the Chiefs, everybody's panicking about Kansas City being 0-2. It just does. It's never happened with Patrick Mahomes being there with the Chiefs. So I think they'll take care of business there against New York. And, of course, with the Giants, when does former Ole Miss star Jackson Dart get the reins as the quarterback? A lot of people are wondering, when is that going to happen? Well, if the Giants keep trending in the direction they're in right now, we could see Dart on the field a lot sooner than we thought. But yeah, will Kansas City go to 0-3? Probably not. I think they'll win that ball game. But so yeah, that's a few of the NFL games, and we do have one NFL game tonight. I didn't put on the schedule, but you got Dolphins and Bills on Amazon Prime tonight. So
I got you. Well, I want to ask you this, Rob. So which team could surprise everybody this week? Who do you think is going to be the upset or the surprise?
Of the NFL games, or just all the way around?
Let's go all the way around.
All the way around.
Let's start with high school.
High school.
You think it's going to be
out of that list right there? That is a good one.
You're going to think maybe Meridian again, or
out of the list we're looking at right now, Southeast probably on the road at Newton, I think might surprise some folks because of the start that Southeast Lauderdale has had. I think I like Southeast to win that ball game. Okay. Going over to Newton. Out of those three games right there, I know Meridian will probably be an underdog on the road, but I like the Cats at Columbus. Yeah. I don't think West Lauderdale will have any problems at Union. I think Lamar will win homecoming, but I think I'm picking a couple of road games. That Jones Co-Lin game. If Jones goes into Co-Lin and wins that game, they could probably be in the mix for a national championship. That's probably a game changer. And out of that list right there with our college matchups, Auburn, Oklahoma, boy, that's a coin flip game, man. Auburn didn't look very smooth against South Alabama last week. I don't know. Yeah. That's a coin flip game, but we'll see. And out of the NFL, I don't see any upsets here. If the Saints go on the road and upset Seattle, Seattle had a bad day at the office is all I got to say. But I don't see many upsets there. And now if the Cowboys lose at Chicago, that'll trigger the media, and they'll cover the Cowboys like crazy. So, But, you know, I think a lot of the games will probably go to chalk, as you hear in sports. Everything will kind of go as expected for the most part. I gotcha. For the most part.
All right, well, we do want to remind everybody that when it comes to high school football, of course, we're going to have those scores on the football feed scoreboard that goes up pretty late Friday night. I think last week we got it up by like 11:30 or something like that. Great. We just kind of collect those scores as they come in. Of course, if you know a score or if you have a score, you have photos, send them to us, DM them. DM them to the Queen City Newsfeed Facebook page or send it to our email. Our email is also up on the Facebook page. You can find it there. But we're going to try to get that scoreboard up as soon as we can.
And I want to urge folks, too, if you go out to these football games, you have like a shot of the field, a shot of a big play or a video or something you want to share with us. We'd love to put it up there. Yeah. You know, I mean, and I'll tell you one of the neat things is – if you have a video of the band performing at halftime, you got a video of the dance team doing their routine or the cheer squad, share that stuff. I
Yeah,
mean,
people want to see it.
That's
so.
a part of the atmosphere that I thoroughly enjoy about high school football.
That's what makes it.
That's
really.
what makes it, is the atmosphere for me. And I want to tell you, last week when Lamar went to Caledonia's band was phenomenal. It was great to have that as a part of the atmosphere.
I haven't had a chance to hear them. So.
Oh, it was great. And I want to say this, too. They were some of the most polite kids you'll ever meet. I was walking past them and wishing them good luck. I said, have a great performance at halftime. And they were all, yes, sir, no, sir.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they called me sir.
I know. You're old.
I was like, yay. So, but I do encourage folks, if you do get that kind of stuff, send it to Cash, Queen City Newsfeed, and it's a big part of what our viewers would love to see out there.
Speaking of feeling old, Rob, so I had the chance to speak to Poplar Springs Elementary first graders yesterday.
Yeah?
I stand up on the stage. They're all in front of me. First question is, are you married?
Wow.
I said, not yet. Not yet. And then they said, how many days until you get married?
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I don't know.
What do they say? Kids say the darndest things.
and then the third question was, how old are you? So
wow.
Yeah. So and
you
then,
could tell them every interesting thing in the world. That's what they're going to ask.
Yeah. And then my favorite question though was, how much money do you make? These are first graders.
First graders. First graders are a lot different than when we were in first grade.
Yeah. So shout out to the Poplar Springs Elementary
love
first grade class, Shelby Gray's class, and a couple other teachers' classes joined us. But that was a great experience.
Great,
so just
fantastic.
wanted to mention that. Speaking of feeling old.
There you go.
But again, thank you guys for joining us. We're gonna have those scores up for you late
Yes.
Friday night. All your information is gonna be right here. Football Feed with Queen City Newsfeed. We've got a website, a Facebook page, and of course, this live stream goes up on our YouTube channel as well. We want to say special thank you to our sponsor, All Star Team Sports in Meridian, the place to go for your sports apparel.
483-7385. There you see the number on your screen. Jason, them can get you squared away. They can do some great apparel for you, so you can show your spirit at your favorite high school football game tomorrow night.
Yeah. All right. Well, Rob, you got anything else to add?
That's pretty much it. Folks, have a very safe night tomorrow night traveling to whatever game you go into. No rain in the forecast tomorrow night. Might be a little warm before kickoff. As the sun goes down, it should cool off just a little bit, but it still will be a little muggy. But I cannot wait for that fall weather. It needs to get here soon.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping it's around the corner.
Yeah, so no rain gear, but hopefully we'll have a good night of ball tomorrow night.
Hey, sounds good to me, Rob. Thank you guys for joining us. And we'll see you back here next week.